in my guest session, I show the demo so that the participant get a feel of that one. So today, for just 5 minutes, we will go through the demo of this popular cloud websites and the uses of that, and then I will start with the blockchain. Is it okay, ma'am? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So these are the three popular cloud websites which I want to show. Maybe some of you have worked with that. So AWS, that is Amazon Web Service. It is the most popular and the world leading number one commercial cloud. It is also the free cloud. If you see uh, various type of the offer, like always free, 12-month free and trials offers are there. And this was the, just yeah. So this was the various options which are provided. If you see on the left hand side, all the type of the things are available here. Like say analytics, you can do the Google type of the analytics, application integration of various application, compute storage, these are and database. These are the three options available in all the type of cloud. Compute means you can upload your soft applications and you can run those applications within cloud. Storage means only storage, but you cannot execute the programs. When we say compute, it is the storage and execution. And database is just like all other databases. So if you see here in the free model, 12-month free option, Amazon gives 750 hours of EC2. That is EAS type of the server which we have studied yesterday. 750 hours per month that is given free of cost. Then Amazon S3, that is a storage type of the simple storage services, that is called SSS S3, Amazon S3. 5 GB of storage space is given free of cost, and you can get 20,000 request and 20,000 put request. Get and put is just like write and read. Then Amazon RDS, this is a database, relational database system, which provide relational database system for MySQL, PostgreSQL, Maria database, Oracle, or SQL Server. That much is there. Then DynamoDB, then it is also having a machine learning tools if you want to work. So nowadays, cloud comes with everything. So security, identity and compliance, mobile things, all things are freely available for 12 months, and some of the for 3 months and all these things. And if you see here the type of the product which is provided by the Amazon, it is having a compute cloud, customer engagement, database, developer tools. So if you see select the developer tools, you will get what type of developer tools which are given for past platform. Yesterday what we have discussed, end user computing, front end web tools and mobile tools. Then for gaming technology, if you want to develop your gaming technology, that is provided. IoT based tools are provided, machine learning tools are provided, media services, networking and content delivery, robotics, security service, storage, all these things are provided. So that is one of the thing. And then another popular cloud which is given by the Google, so that is called as the Google Cloud. The website is cloud.google.com, and it is having a multiple products. If you see with the products of the Google, Google also come with the Google Compute Engine where you can execute your program. Google Cloud Storage, Cloud SDK is there for that software development kit. Then this is having a Google SQL, that is a Google database. Google Kubernetes engine that is used for app management. Then BigQuery for big data. Some yesterday somebody has asked about the big data. So big data can be solved using the BigQuery type of the product. Cloud CDN, that is content delivery network. If you want to deliver the network like a social network or education content delivery, that can be used as a cloud CDN software. Then data flow, operations, cloud runs. And again, same thing, feature products, it includes AI and machine learning tools, data analytics tool, database tools, healthcare and life sciences, then IoT, all things are possible. So nowadays, cloud is not only the thing which is used for uploading and downloading data, but within using a cloud services, you can do everything. So therefore, nowadays companies are preferring cloud server rather than having their own in-house server, because you don't have, you get everything whatever you want. Like for AI and machine learning, it provides Vertex AI, that is unified ML platform for training, hosting and managing machine learning models. So for if you want to develop certain machine learning and deep learning algorithms, otherwise you require a separate server with graphical GPU, that is a graphical processing unit, and a very high-end RAM. But here with the Google Cloud services, you have to just hire the Google Cloud and you get everything free of cost. That is, all the softwares are free of cost available, provided by the Google. Then speech to text conversion, vision AI, text to speech conversion, video AI, auto machine learning, that NLP. If somebody want to work in sentiment analysis, then cloud natural language process is given. Infrastructure is given. So many things are provided like that. For Internet of Things, if you are working in IoT based project, then it has provided IoT device management, integration and connection services, cloud IoT core. Then Edge TPU, that is given. So this is about the Google. And most of the suppose if you go with the pricing, this pricing overview is given, pay by the Google. Start running workload for free. Whatever the workload you want to do, that are provided with the free. Where you get $300 free credits, 20 plus free products. And if you want more than that, then you have to pay depending upon the your uses. But as I told you yesterday, if you have some professional mail ID like your name at your college name.edu, then all these services like AWS services, they are free for 12 months. Google services, they are free for 12 months. And then third important cloud service provider, which I want to say, that is a Microsoft. So Microsoft has come up with the Azure engine, that is called as a Microsoft Azure cloud. So this is a cloud of Microsoft. It has come with the mobile app and so many things. Now for Microsoft Cloud, uh, much of resources are provided here. If you go and study all these things, free of cost, you can have free account. And then products, just like Google Cloud and Amazon Cloud. It comes with the cloud, this computing engine, that is with the virtual machine, Azure Virtual Desktop, then Azure SQL, just like database support, Cosmos database, that is a NoSQL database. Nowadays it is coming up. NoSQL database is most popular. Then like Azure Kubernetes service, that is supported by the Microsoft and Azure, Amazon, they have the tie-up. So they are supporting each other data if you want to migrate from one cloud to another. Then app services, if you are working with the mobile apps, then Azure management services, Azure quantum services. Again, here if you go, Microsoft also provide the featured for, if you want to develop certain AI and machine learning products, analytics product, then databases, DevOps, that is a Microsoft product. Then if you want to work with the hybrid cloud or multi-cloud environment, then if you want to work with IoT, all these things are provided. So just go through all these three websites and just have a free account and then start working on that one. Slowly you will learn. So nowadays, some of my students are working with machine learning based project with Bennet University in Noida. We have a type with that. So for that one, Google has provided a free tool called Google Colab, in which uh, all the things can be easily executed. Otherwise, if you want to learn machine learning algorithms, it required huge many days to execute one particular program because it required a huge amount of memory and processor speed. But with the Google Colab, you can easily upload the data sets, data corpuses are available free of cost, and execution become faster. So that's about the yesterday's demo about these three popular cloud services. Now coming to our own topic of today's topic we are discussing is blockchain. Any one of you know anything about blockchain? Ma'am, is the PPT and screen visible properly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so dear friends, now we'll start with the today's session, that is blockchain. I think some of you might have heard about blockchain. The name itself indicate it is a chain of block. Yes, it is a chain of block, but for what purpose it is used? So I have preferred today's PPT to be used from the PPT, which is, yes, somebody has said in the chat window. Yeah, Vasumati ma'am has said a blockchain collects information together in groups, also known as blocks, and that whole set of information. True. So, so in the today's session, uh, we are going to understand what is meant by blockchain technologies and how it is relevant for the business, and what are the IBM products, free of cost IBM products, which is helpful for applying to the blockchain. So, but before going into the blockchain, we'll go to the basic things. For any type of business, networks, market, and wealth. Network consisting of the connectivity where the customers, the suppliers, the banks, and partners, they are connected geographically across the globe and having no regulatory boundary. So in that way, whenever in during businesses there is an exchange of goods and services, and then wealth is created out of that one, and that wealth is distributed from one party to the another party. So one is a buyer and one another is a seller. So in those cases, markets are central to the processes. Like there are certain public market, like say fruit market is there or vegetable market is there, car auction market. You go and then you purchase the thing. So like you, there are thousands of people who are buying the fruits or vegetables and cars in those market. And certain are the private market, like you purchase bonds from the government that you are a buyer and government is a seller. Then in supply chain finance, in supply chain management, suppose as a business person, you are supplying the fruits to another party in Mumbai or say in Delhi, then it is a private market. So in this one, whenever we are talking about any type of business, it consisting of transferring the assets and building the value. So anything that is capable of being owned or controlled to produce value, that is an asset. Asset is what? It is anything which can produce the value. So there are two type of fundamental type of the assets are there, like tangible assets like your house, and intangible assets like a mortgage. So intangible assets are also divided as financial assets like bonds, mutual funds, share market, intellectual assets like patents and copyrights, then digital assets like your music and audio, that is a video and all these things. Cash is also considered as an asset. Cash has a property of anonymity. We don't know currently. Suppose that it is the cash. Like suppose I have the carrying the cash in my wallet of 2000 notes of 10 notes of 2000. So I have 20,000 cash, but there is no name. It is anonymous cash. Suppose I lost my wallet and somebody get wallet. So then that he will become, or he or she will become the owner of that cash, because there is cash is anonymous. Now, maybe some of you know about these ledgers. Ledgers is what? A ledger is the system of record for a business. As shown in this figure, people are maintaining the ledgers. You know, record or set transfer between the participants. So what is a ledger? It is nothing but a principal book or main book or a computer file for recording and totaling the financial transaction by account type, with the debits and credit in separate columns and a beginning monetary balance and ending monetary balance for each account. See, if some of you are working in the businesses like, you know, एक खाता पड़ी की वही रहती है. Ledger is what? During the Diwali period, whenever the shop owners they celebrate the Diwali, so they change the book. That ledger book is changed during the Diwali period. So they kept the old book, and now this after Diwali they start the new season. So our financial year, like government, and our financial year when we are working people is from 1st of April to 31st of March. And but for businessmen, their financial year is from Diwali to Diwali. So they change these ledger books. So normally, no, if you have seen this Harshad Mehta scam, uh, a web series, a popular web series, 1992 scam of Harshad Mehta. So at that time, it was shown in the stock market. It was using the manual ledgers in those period. Okay. So So in this type of manual ledgers, people were entering the what is type of account, what is a debit amount in debit in separate column, credit in separate column, and what is initial balance and what is the final balance of that. So this type of either people are using the manual ledger like this book, which are available in the stationery store, and nowadays we are using the computers. So using Excel type of the software, we are using the accounts ledger where what is the income, what is the expenses, what is the balance before and after like that. So every business, it has to maintain the ledger for various party. One is a buying party, another is selling party, and then there is a transaction of money. So somebody is debiting, somebody is crediting, and everything is maintained with the help of ledger. Now, why we are talking in detail about the ledger? Because a blockchain is also related to the ledger. Okay. So what happens in case of ledger things? That is, whenever you are talking about a two party dealing with a particular transaction, so then there are things like there are participants, there are transactions, and there are contracts. So participants are what? They are members of a business network. Either participant can be customers, they in a C2C network, client, customer, client to client network, or it can be B2B or B2C network. One is a businessman, one is a client. So there can be customer, supplier. So might be those people who have taught ERP, enterprise resource planning, or MIS, you know, the supply chain management and all these things. So participant can be customer, supplier, government regulator. It can resides within organization. Then among the participant happens the transaction. What is a transaction? It is an asset transfer. For example, suppose there is a two people which is shown in there. So these are all participant. And suppose John is one owner of a car. He gives his car to Anthony. This is a simple transaction. So John is selling his car to Anthony, and Anthony is giving the money on for those cars which he has purchased from the John. So John is a seller and Anthony is a buyer. So this is a transaction. Now, what is a contract? Contract are nothing but the conditions for transactions to happen. Like if Anthony pays John money, then car will pass from John to Anthony. This is a simple transaction. If money is paid, then the car will be transferred and the RC book, the new name of the owner will be Anthony. But if car won't start, funds do not pass to John. So this is complex type of contract. So a contract is nothing but it is an agreement, on paper agreement, which is mutually agreed and maintained on a paper and signed by both the party, the buyer party and seller party, and they make a contract. Now, after knowing all this ledger, the manual ledgers and what is meant by participant, transaction, and contracts, now we come to the blockchain. So, what is a blockchain? Blockchain is nothing but it is a shared ledger technology. Blockchain is a technology. It is a shared ledger technology allowing any participant in the business network to see the system of record. So what is a blockchain? It is nothing but it is a distributed ledger. Blockchain in simple word, in one line, we can define a blockchain as uh, a shared ledger. So when we talk about the shared ledger technology, it is that ledger. It is a computer-based ledger which is shared among the parties which are using that one. So that is about the blockchain. Now, why we required this type of the shared ledger in the blockchain technologies? Okay. So without a blockchain, how the systems were there? A blockchain is a very new concept which was introduced hardly in the when Bitcoin was introduced in 2008. So before blockchain, before 2008, how the systems were moving, like the problem with the system, for example, there is a bank, there is one party, there is one organization called A, party A, then another organization called party B, third organization called party C, and there is another counterparty record, and then there is a bank which is maintaining the record. For example, suppose one organization A is holding one assets, suppose, and they are maintaining the ledger. Suppose this company A is sold by the owner to say party B. So now the after the transaction, after taking the money, then ledger is transferred to this one. Now this person maintain another ledger. Then suppose party B transferred the company to party C, it will again maintain the another ledger. Now there is another counterparty which can maintain the record. Now there is a bank which is doing a transaction. Financial transactions are done by the bank for party A, B, and C. So bank also maintain the ledger. So normally without a blockchain, what happened? The problem without a blockchain is it is difficult to monitor the asset ownership and transfer in a trusted business network. This is a trusted business network. If party A is selling some asset to B and then B to C like that, then it is difficult to monitor who is owning the asset at times. Certain times the owner is A, then owner may be B, then owner may be C. So it is an inefficient, expensive, and vulnerable transaction. It may be there. But now same thing, this with the same example, if we apply the blockchain here, how the things will move on. What is the blockchain? A solution is to provide a permissioned, replicated, shared ledger. So what is a blockchain? Blockchain is a permissioned ledger. It is a computer-based ledger which is permission to use by all the parties, which are the participants of that. Then it is a replicated ledger. One party will pass on the ledger and it is replicated to another party and this is shared among that one. Now, for example, here the participants are same as before. Now participants have multiple shared ledgers. The ledger is one. Suppose this bank record, bank create this ledger. So bank will pass on this, bank will do some entry in that ledger and will pass on this to the party A. Now party A is the first owner, party A will update the ledger with its own records and then after some time, suppose if sent to the counterparty, then this ledger is transferred. Same shared ledger is transferred with updations to them. Then it moved to party C, then this party P and like. So the ledger is moving, only one ledger. There is no multiple copies of the ledger. The ledger is moving and it is shared among all the party. It is replicated. Any party who wants to do any transaction, either it is a debit or credit, it is updating that ledger. So that is a blockchain. So it is a consensus taken among them, having a provenance, it is immutable ledger and it has a finality. So that is about the blockchain. Now the most popular application of blockchain is a Bitcoin. What is a Bitcoin? Can somebody tell me? If you know, maybe some of you have purchased the Bitcoin also. Yes. If anyone you can
It's a
say.
digital currency.
Yeah. It is a digital currency which is used across the globally. Till now, the government of India has not identified that. In the last week itself, our finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the bill is ready and we will be tabled that bill in the parliament session. So government is planning because in India also many of the people uh, they are doing this type of Bitcoin, buying and purchasing Bitcoin. Even currently, it is invalid thing in India. But in some of the countries, businesses are doing with the Bitcoin. So it is a digital currency or it is a cryptocurrency. It is called digital currency because there is no cash involved in that one. It is just like a ledger. So why blockchain become popular? Blockchain become popular because of the Bitcoin. So in 2008, one of the person he has introduced this Bitcoin. So what is a Bitcoin? It is an unregulated, censorship resistant shadow currency. It is not original paper currency. It is a shadow currency, which it is not regulated by any of the banks of any country. And so what it ensures, countries which are using cryptocurrency currently, I don't have the list, but most probably certain European countries and the US government, they are allowed. But India also, people are purchasing. Some of my student has informed me, even I have tried something, some of my friends are purchasing. Till now, I haven't purchased that, but it is a risky type of investment, but it is a good investment. So one day, suppose like even the Stanford has come up with one currency, Bitcoin currency that is called as a pi. So if you want, you can that this is a pi. This is what Stanford professors has come up with this Bitcoin. That is currently it is a free of cost. But after some, suppose if you're holding like Bitcoin is less level of risk factor is there in Bitcoin currently because it is not a valid currency which is accepted by the government. But now with the world which we are moving, maybe once the government accept that bill, uh, the currently the last fortnight RBI governor Mr. Shaktikant Das has said something about the Bitcoin. once the government accept the Bitcoin as an official currency, then in India also we can be used as a good investment option because things are very much fastly moving if you have Bitcoin. Okay, so it is blockchain ensures cash like coin passing. It is a unique coin which is passed from one person to another. Suppose I want to purchase something gold, I instead of giving the hard cash, I can use a Bitcoin to that person and purchase the gold and all these things. But yes, we have to remember that Bitcoin is the first blockchain application by which blockchain become popular. But Bitcoin is a type of blockchain application, but blockchain is not a Bitcoin. Many people make a confusion like that one. So blockchain is not a Bitcoin. So this is a digital currency. This are somehow different from the cryptocurrency in which cryptography is used for that cryptocurrency. Now in blockchain for businesses, there are four type of things which are important while using the blockchain. One is you must have a shared ledger. This is append only. This ledger can be appended. We cannot in yes in blockchain. The one of the important thing is that as I shown here, this ledger can be appended. You cannot delete any entries in the ledger. Suppose a bank creates a ledger and suppose it has 100 entries. Then it passes to the party A. Party A will add 200 more entry. Now entry is 3. But party A cannot delete any one of the entries of initial entries given by the bank. Then 100 plus 200. When party A sold it, the company along with the ledger, then it has 300 entries. Then this party may add 100 entries, 400. Then so number of entries. The blockchain is growing indefinitely when the number of people are exchanging the blockchain, but nobody cannot delete the data, so you get all the data. It's like multiple version system when all like you have one particular word file and you maintain something, then you pass it on to your friends update that word file, pass it on to next friend, but original version is always there. So here we can only append the only distributed system of record which is shared across the business network. That is the shared ledger. Then we need to have maintain a privacy in a blockchain. So ensuring the appropriate visibility and secure, authenticate and verifiable transaction must be there. Our transaction must be secure. That is, blockchain must be transferred from one authorized party to another authorized party, and there must be have authentication that suppose I am a sender and you are a receiver of a blockchain, then you must be able to verify that I am an original authenticated sender of this blockchain, and blockchain must be verifiable whether it is a real blockchain or a fake blockchain. So that security features must be there. Then there is another terminology in blockchain that is called as a smart contract. Smart contracts are embedded within a blockchain. So these are the business terms which are embedded in a transaction database and executed with transaction. So whatever the transactions you are doing, so smart contract is nothing but the things which are embedded along with those transaction databases. And what is a validation? All parties agrees to network verify transaction. When validation is also important in a blockchain, whenever I am transferring my blockchain to the another one, then it has to be validated. So in short, we can say a blockchain is what? It is a distributed shared ledger which records all the transaction across the business network. None of the transaction can be deleted from beginning to end. There is no end. Blockchain is endless thing. It is a shared between the participant, and number of participant can be infinite. Participants have own copy through replication. For example, suppose there are suppose currently now there are 100 people and I am the owner, I am the creator of blockchain. So I will enter the data and I will give to the participant number one. Then number one will give to number two like that number 100. So everyone can have the own copy by replicating the copy. Now he or she will maintain the data till the what time they have updated. It is a permission one. So participant can see only appropriate transaction. It is a permission ledger. So only needed, everybody cannot see the whole transaction, only what transaction which is required that is shown. And it is a shared system of record. Whole record is shared with all the parties. Now, what is a smart contract? Smart contract is another terminology. It is the business rules which are implied by the contract. So there are certain business rules which are embedded in the blockchain and they are executed with the transaction. For example, suppose a contractual condition under which corporate bond transfer occur. Suppose one company is transferring the bond or share to another company. One company has sold out, say 20% of their share to another company. Now there is maybe some contract which is there that when and how the share will be sold and how in lieu of selling the shares, uh, uh, in lieu of the this selling of the shares, what type of money and how the money will be transferred, whether it is transferred fully or partially. So everything has defined in a contract, and that contract is embedded. And that type of embedded contract, which are executed with the blockchain transaction, they are called as a smart contract. Then privacy, the ledger is shared ledger. But blockchain is a shared ledger, but participant required privacy. Now it is like that. There are four partners who are staying in a hostel room. So room is shared. So blockchain is like a common room which is shared by the partner. But now uh, again within the room we have separate cupboards. So the four partners can have separate four cupboards and they can keep the data locked with that. Now, when we share the room with another three people, the amenities like say washrooms, then television, then fridge, refrigerators, and the table, chairs, that all these things are shared. But now people need privacy. When who will be using another person should not be disturbed for that one. Now here for maintaining the privacy in a blockchain, the cryptography is used. If you have studied the security in cryptography, for that one, hash and Merkle T algorithm is used, but I'm not going into depth of that one for today's session. So for maintaining the security and privacy in the blockchain, the most popular algorithm which is used is called a Merkle tree algorithm, which is used for that one. And now here, participant need all the transactions of those participants must be private, and transaction must need to be the authenticated one. Then next come to the validation. So what is a validation? So all the transaction, whatever the transactions which are done from one party to another party, they must be validated. So validated means transaction must be verifiable and it must be a committed transaction. So when the participants are not known to each other, that is anonymous participants, then that commitment is expensive. But when the participants are known and they are trusted party, that for example, there are four parties and all the four parties are knowing to each other, then this commitment for and verification is cost. So for that one, for maintaining this type of validation, there is a one concept called proof of stake, which is used. We have to prove that this is a valid ledger which is transferred from one party, me, to another party. So this is about the basics of blockchain. Some more thing. Just a minute.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
The proof of stacking is best or proof of work?
What?
Proof of stacking is the best one method or proof?
Your voice is breaking.
Gunasekaran sir, kindly type in chat box. Your voice is breaking.
Yeah. Yeah, some more concept related to blockchain before going to the use. Here I will, before giving the demo, we'll also go to the demo. So what is a distributed ledger? It is a single entity which is distributed among the various people. And one more thing to show you. Yeah, the how the blockchain is created and how it is a distributed ledger, how it works. For example, suppose I'm a creator, as I'm a first user who is creating a blockchain. Then these are the flow of how the blockchains are created. User initiate the transaction using their digital signature. Now here the completely the terminology like digital signature and cryptography is totally used for the blockchain because we want to maintain the security and privacy. So I will initiate the transaction using my digital signature, and then I will broadcast my transaction to the node. So I am the original user, and maybe suppose you 100 people, we want to create one blockchain, say maybe for the purpose of education. I will explain those applications afterward. So suppose I'm a creator, I'm an owner. So I will create my first block and then using my digital signature. So to prove my authentication that yes, I am the original owner who has created this blockchain. So using my digital signature, I will create first block. Now it is not a blockchain, it is a first block. This first block I will broadcast to the nodes. Suppose there are 100 people in my chain. So I will broadcast to that one node. Now one or more node begin validating each other transaction. So whatever transaction I'm transferred, that either of those 100 nodes, anyone may validate the transaction. Now nodes next step is node aggregate validated transaction into blocks. Once the transactions are validated, they are converted into the blocks. Then node broadcast the blocks to each other. So suppose there are 100 people communicating with each other, they can broadcast, the person 1 can broadcast the block to person 10, 10 can broadcast to person 71, like that. Then consensus protocol is used. There is a one protocol which is used to go with the consensus, and then the block which is reflecting as a true state, that is changed to the prior block. So first block I have created. Now for creating a next block, I will circulate that block and all those transactions among the people who are using that blockchain. Once it is validated and those transactions are authenticated and validated by all the people using consensus protocol, then that block is accepted as a true state block, and now that block will add as a second block. So initial my first block, then second block. Now it has become a chain. Like that, third block, fourth block, fifth block, all these things will be added. So blockchain is using the cryptography, that is for initiation and broadcasting of transaction. Digital signatures are used for authentication of the sender and receiver, and private and public keys are used for the transaction, for encryption and decryption of the transaction. Then for validation of transaction, proof of work and some other alternatives are used. And for chaining the blocks, one block has to be chained with another block to create a blockchain. So for that one, hash functions are used. Okay. Now here I want to just give the demo of a blockchain. Somebody is just going through the first thing. Yeah. This is the person, Mr. Satoshi. In 2008, he has created the first blockchain through his own paper, and that it was the first Bitcoin. And then in 2008, with the concept of Bitcoin, which was released by Mr. Satoshi, then blockchain become popular. So here I can add the peer, and another person can be added, like this one. Initially it was Satoshi, then one peer is added, Miyako. Then these are all Japanese people. Mr. Satoshi is a Japanese people, and you'll see all the Japanese names. These are all peers. Now, for example, this is a blockchain demo 2.0. This is a previous hash algorithm. This is the first block is called as a Genesis block. Okay. So for Genesis block, the initial hash value of the hash is given. Okay, hash is nothing but a message digest. If some of you have studied and taught the cryptography, you know the concept of hash. So a hash is nothing but it is a message digest which is used for the purpose of message integrity. Using hash, we can ensure that the message is not modified. Now here, suppose one particular data is added and block one is created. So if you see that Genesis block, the first block for this demo version, it is created on 17th October 2017. Now suppose I add some data. Now this data is there already existing. Suppose I add the data, then this block one is modified and now hash is also changed. Now suppose I want to add another. Now this is only Genesis block. The original block is there, which was created by someone else. that is the original user Satoshi, and then I have added somebody has added block one. Now I want to add a new block, so I will try something. Hello, how are you? This is my data which I'm adding. So when I'm adding the data, if you see the previous hash is nothing but this previous value. How the change, as I mentioned in the PPT slide, if you see here, this is a previous hash for the Genesis block, 000 DC75. The last is 37CF. The same thing you will see. So using the hash, these blocks are chained with each other. This is the first original block. This is chained using the hash. The previous hash is shown. Now this for block 1 E42 and last digit D3A, it is the hash of that one. Now it is shown as a previous hash E42 D3A. Then block 2 is created. Now today's date block 2 is shown. Then suppose I add some more data here, then my hash value is changing. As the data is changing, hash value is changing. So block 3 is created. This is one of the data, how the blocks are created. Another demo. This is another demo of blockchain. Anderbrownworth.com. This is another person who has given a demo. So here it is showing the block that suppose this is a block 1. The nonce value is used in the block, and here the initially this is the first block, so therefore the previous value is 0. With this nonce value, the current hash is coming like that. Suppose I add data here. So my hash value is changed. Suppose I add more data, my hash value is changing. Now what hash value is changing for the first one, that is reflecting as the, for second block, it becomes the previous hash value. Ultimately hash value, whenever I'm adding the data, hash value of the next block is changing. Now first block is unchanged, but I'm adding something in second block. So like that one, here the author has given a demo of 5 blocks. More blocks can be added like that one. This is how the blockchain works. I'm just giving you the basic demo. Yeah. Now coming to the blockchain benefits, why people are using blockchain, why it has become popular. For industrial blockchain, benefit is that it is reducing the cost and reducing the complexity. Instead of maintaining the different type of the ledger, one common shared ledger is there. So the cost of maintaining the ledgers is reduced, and complexity of maintaining the multiple copies of ledger is reduced. Then trusted record keeping, since it is secured, authenticated and validated one, so it is a trusted. Yes, it is a secured one. So trusted record keeping is there. Improve the discoverability. Suppose I lost some data, then I can easily get it in a blockchain. And share trusted processes. The each user is trusting on the another user who is using blockchain. So there is a shared trust process involved in that one. But again, these are the certain advantages of a blockchain, but there are certain drawbacks also. So yes. Okay. So in blockchain, there are certain drawbacks of the blockchain. The first drawback is it need high performance transaction. All the as I shown you the demo, whenever some data is added, ultimately you suppose data is added in the first block, hash value is changing. That hash value becomes a previous hash value for the second block. So second block is changing. Then third block. Suppose initially now we have seen one. Suppose one blockchain which is started in 2017 till now. Suppose 10 lakh user have used this blockchain. It means that whenever any of this 10 lakh person update the data, then remaining, suppose his sequence is 10th, then the remaining 9,90,990 transactions will be updated. So you require very high performance computing power for managing those transactions. So that is one of the drawback. That's why blockchain mining is normally not good. People are using the blockchain mining to get the blockchain. Normally it is used for Bitcoin, another purpose, but it requires huge amount of computing power and electric power. So much of electricity is wasted and much of computing power is wasted in that one. So unless and until it is of no use, people should not use Bitcoin mining or blockchain mining for you increase use of resources and increase use of electricity. Then for small organization which doesn't have a business network, it is of no use. Blockchain is used only when you are working in a distributed environment, that your company is having offices. Suppose you have a local office in Nagpur
Hello.
and it is a normal shop, then blockchain is of no use for small organization. But suppose you have a company like Reliance and is having offices in more than 150 countries like Google or Facebook, then in that case it is useful because you are working at a different geographical locations. Then for transferring the assets and contracts, blockchain become easier. So not useful for small organization. Then
Hello.
yes.
Uh, so blockchain technology is only applicable for private cloud-based application.
No, cloud is different one. A blockchain is different one.
Means if it is applicable for a large organization which is distributed all over the world,
Yeah.
then definitely the block chaining technology will be applied through cloud. Otherwise, how it will be implemented or
No,
applied?
every time cloud is not recovered. I will answer your questions when I will give the certain applications in the further
Okay.
slides. Yeah. So then these are the certain drawbacks of the blockchain. Now coming to some other, yeah, coming to the your question, sir, in explaining such certain type of this application, every time it cannot be a globally one within a nation also. If you are referred uh, to Man Ki Baat by Mr. Modi ji somewhere in the second pandemic, he has taken the name about the blockchain and all this thing. He has explained that how the government of India is planning to use the blockchain. Nowadays, you know that after the in NDA government, the people have started using this Ujjwala gas yojana for the gas cylinder transfer from one party to another party. Then bank transfer, they have started with the zero balance bank account opening, like Jan Dhan Yojana and sort of the things. So for all these type of the things, blockchain is very much useful. We'll come to that point. So maybe within a nation or beyond the geographical boundaries, blockchain is useful, but it requires huge number of participants. For small participant or very small organization with one office, it is of no use. For example, there are certain applications which are given here. You will better understood this blockchain. Like letter of credit. Suppose one bank want to handle the letter of credit uh, to the client. Suppose this is a particular company is a buyer and which is buying a particular land from a particular seller, and they have different buyer is having account in one blank called bank A and seller is having account in bank B. So now the this sales contract is distributed among these two party, and then the buyer bank will issue this one letter of credit and sends it to the seller bank. So letter of credit is what it is that which involves these financial transactions and all. Now, in normal things, this type of the things are constrained by the cost and the time, because this party has to inform to the one party, then this party will inform to the bank, this party will also inform to the bank, then bank will create a letter of credit, then it goes to bank B. So it is a very much time consuming process. But with the blockchain, it will be very fast. It increase speed of execution. Within less than 1 day, the letter of credit, it is a blockchain. So party B want to sell the information. So it will create a blockchain, first block, which consisting of the land details and the financial transaction involved in that one. That it will pass on out, that is a sell contract. It will pass on to bank B, sorry, the another party, which is a buyer. Then this buyer will update that blockchain and will add its own data, that what is a property and what is a finance involved in that property. And then for transferring the money, then that blockchain is transferred by this party to the his own bank. Then this bank understood that suppose this much millions of dollars has to be transferred from company A to company B, then in that case it will create it will add this information, that is a letter of credit in that distributed ledger, and immediately it is transferred through software to this another bank. Another bank will get this information and then it will tell to the seller that this particular transaction is done. So it has in benefit is this one. So this type of blockchain will provide a common ledger, distributed ledger for transferring of letter of credit among them. So like in this type of banking transaction, blockchain is used. Another is used for blockchain is corporate debt, or you want to transfer the debt or bond. So bank is holding a particular corporate debt and it would like to pay vendors quickly for transaction validated by the client. It will want to allow the corporate client to see the payment, and it will also allow need to provide government with oversight of the process. So bank want to transfer the money to the vendors, and then at that time bank need that vendor, corporate client, and the government must know all this type of transaction which is done for the this one. So now for this one, all these things can be easily done with the help of blockchain. Bank will initiate the first genesis block of the blockchain, and it will be passed on to the corporate client, the vendors, and governments, and everybody get, because blockchain is a distributed ledger. So ledger is created by the bank, and all this information bank will add, then pass on to corporate client. Corporate client will update that ledger, give to vendor, and parallelly it is given to the government. So nobody can delete the data, and everybody can see what data transaction which is done by the previous party. So it speed up the vendor payments, and so discounts are easily available. Eliminate the risk and accelerate the decision making. Decision making become faster, and this cost can be saved. Then another example is whenever two party in B2B environment, suppose for example, Reliance Petrochemical want to purchase one petroleum company in Europe. So Reliance is a buyer and that European petrol company is a seller. Now during this one, it is a big deal involving of millions of dollars. So naturally there is a B2B contracts involving that one. So normally suppose if without a blockchain, that is a paper-based contract where the European party will prepare the paper, will pass it on to Reliance. The Reliance team will check out, then they will make the modification. Then again goes back to like that. There are multiple type of versioning will happen, and it is very much time consuming where months or years are spent. Nowadays with the blockchain, and even when this copy are maintained in a normal format, like normal computer format or say hard copy format, then you have to pass on this information to the top level management who are decision makers, and then the delay happens in the decision making. So whenever buyer wants the efficient way of converting a purchase order into validated self, so there is a purchase order has to be created by that European company, which will be given, and then invoice will be created for that one. So this purchase order, it has to be validated, and then it has to be converted into the self contract. So agreement must be visible to the buyer, that is a Reliance company, the seller, that is European company, the banks of European bank and Indian bank, which are deal with that one, logistic partner who are doing this transfer of goods, suppose goods are involved, and stakeholders. Now with the help of blockchain, same thing, the seller, the European company will create a block and it will pass it on. And this distributed share ledger blockchain will provide a shared record of contract status, which is updated as the contract progresses. Initially, the contract is initiated, that is then second phase, contract is updated. The third phase, money things are added. So at every stage from the contract beginning to the contract end, everything is updated in that blockchain ledger, and any party can see to that one. So this is available to all parties to the agreement. It is available to their banks. It is available to the partners, and nobody can edit anything. So deletion is not possible. So this will increase the efficiency and transparency across the supply chain. Like that, nowadays IoT devices are coming up. Blockchains are used along with IoT devices. Smart
Hello?
refrigerator. Yes.
Sir, whether we can consider core banking as a form of this blockchaining application? Because same thing is happening in core banking.
No. Can you give an example? What happens in core banking?
Means if I am having my saving account in SBI, still I can withdraw amount from other ATMs, and the amount is automatically deducted from the saving account. And there is agreement protocol present between these all banks and they have their contract and some form of partnership is there. And wherever we are performing transaction, the same process is happening within the same passbook, and uh, different customers are doing the same process.
Correct. But it is not a blockchain, Mr. Sethi. Why? Because it is a centralized transaction. It is not a distributed transaction. It is between you and bank. Suppose you hold one account and then you are doing transaction. So using your mobile or internet banking, whenever you are doing transaction, you enter your password. So it is only known to you. Even the bank doesn't know what transactions you are doing. The bank server is updating the data. So it is between you and bank. There are only two parties involved in that one. But in a blockchain, there are multiple party involved in that. So like when in a blockchain, a block has to be created. This is not a block. Account is not a block. Account is one asset which belongs to you. It is not a distributed asset. Whereas in case of contract, which I have just given, like here, corporate debt. So bank, then in that case, in core banking, what you're seeing, core banking follows the not a distributed system concept. It is following the centralized system concept. In core banking, all the banking networks, they are connected with each other. So because of that one, so you hold a State Bank card, but whenever you go into say Bank of Baroda ATM and you insert the card through that banking networks, your that Bank of Baroda ATM machine will pass on the information to server. The server will fetch the information from SBI server, and then your details are provided and you can withdraw or deposit the money. So that is a banking networks which is there, but that is not a blockchain, because here uh, you can delete the data completely. Suppose you close that account, then that account will be deleted. Suppose you close the account, you withdraw the complete money, and you want that, no, I do not want to be a customer of State Bank of India. Then that account is deleted. Suppose after 1 year, your son goes and asks for the, or your wife goes and asks for that one, nobody will get the data. But in blockchain, nothing can be deleted. A blockchain once created, it is forever. Just like so here, like what example I have given for bank, like for corporate debt or bank, here there are multiple parties. There is a one bank, then clients, then vendors, then government. So one party is creating, but this is available infinitely. Just like I have shown the example of that example of Genesis block, which was created in 2017 by that owner who is given blockchain demo. So that block is still available and I am updating on that block, but I cannot delete that block. But in case of your account, you can delete the account. I hope you understood. So
Hello, sir.
yes, yes,
I think crowdfunding is one good example of this blockchain
exactly,
technology.
exactly.
Because,
Can you explain, Dr. Desai,
yeah,
crowdfunding?
because in crowdfunding, what happens is many people are involved who are going to do the investment.
Yeah,
And in this case, everybody should know actually what kind of investment is done, and nobody should be in a position to manipulate to whatever transactions that are happening there.
exactly. Yeah, Dr. Desai has given a right answer. Crowdfunding is a very good application of a blockchain. And when multiple parties are involved, for example, one startup is formed. In the startup, there are certain venture capitalists who are providing investment. There are certain local investors are there. Then there are certain vendors are there. Then there are certain people who have started the startup. Startup is a startup company. So there is no owner. New people can be joined. So multiple stakeholders are involved. And in that case, when the fund is coming from various locations, it is used. The most popular use of blockchain, which was used by United Nations, this is a very popular case study, which some of you might have known. That is in Africa for distributing. Now, in case of bank, when core banking, suppose now Jan Dhan Yojana. So you need a bank account. Suppose government want to transfer the money. So now in this case, how the future will be changing. Initially, in the Congress region, the people were not having the bank account. So it may happen that the local sarpanch and this saukar type of the people, they might have misused the power and they have transferred the money, which is, it has happened. We know in Manarega case, thousands and crores of rupees had transferred to the landowner in the name, which was actually given in the name of Manrega people. But now next step is a bank. Now you in Manrega you have your own account. Suppose I am a Manrega user and I have done certain work as a daily wager. The money will come directly in my account, so it cannot be taken stolen by my owner and sent somebody else. But still the problem in this one is I need a bank account. So for bank account I have to go to the bank and I have to open. Suppose I am a layman, I am not educated because I am a daily wager person. I don't know how to open a bank account. But then how the without bank the money will. So next application without banking is this distributed ledger blockchain. In blockchain you don't require. So this type of concept popularly used in Africa when in African countries there were refugees. Many thousands of refugees of another country, they have landed in different country, and United Nations this rich countries want to transfer some money through a United Nations program. This money was transferred to each and every refugee, where now just like taking the example of Jammu and Kashmiri Pandit have left everything. Now Afghanistan, there are people in Afghanistan after this Taliban movement, they have left their country who have a stay for more than 50 years, having a uh, acres of lands and the billions of dollars in the account. Now suppose they came to India as a refugee, how the money will be transferred to them, because they don't have any account in India. In that case blockchain is useful. So in African countries the money was transferred using a blockchain. So in blockchain is what I need only a mobile. So suppose I am a refugee and then I have to prove that I am a refugee, and then a particular blockchain will come. Blockchain is what? It is a soft copy file which comes as a message in my mobile. I will go to local bank. I don't have any account because I am Afghanistan person. I don't have any account in India. I will go to the bank, your state bank or another bank, and I will show that blockchain received a block received from that blockchain in my mobile. And when I validate this is I am a refugee person, then bank will give me the cash. I don't need account in that. So that is the most popular uses of blockchain which has happened in the past in African countries. So smart refrigerator, even blockchain is used in the devices. Till now, we have discussed about only this human interface. But now, for example, the future, this current IoT-based smart devices are coming. So one of the smart devices, smart refrigerator. Nowadays, when the husband and wife both are working in India, it is not to be used, but in next generation, it will be useful. So now, what happened that the owner, most probably the ladies at the home, they had to clean. This is a common program every lady has to do in the month or mostly on the holidays when they have to clean the refrigerator and then remove the other eatable items or vegetables which are rotten and all these things. But now what is happen for the future generation, the ladies, this work will be saved because using a blockchain, this this is smart refrigerator will clean itself. It will clean. Suppose a particular time is set on every weekend, the refrigerator will clean itself. Then suppose you are putting certain stuff like milk and curd and other items. Now the refrigerator, being a intelligent refrigerator, it will know that certain items like chips, the quantity is reducing, or bread or the toast, the quantity is reducing, the quantity of butter is reduced. Automatically the order will be placed to the vendor and this order can be arranged. So that is ordering and paying for food to arranging for its own software upgrades and tracking is within warranty. Suppose it will upgrade its own software and then it will inform you on your mobile, a message will come that now the warranty of this refrigerator is going to close, so please upgrade the warranty. So this will even the devices will be using and they are still using in some area this type of blockchain. Then blockchain is also useful for supply chain. So the supply chain when you are transferring the product. For example, one property is sold. So nowadays we are using Satbara. Maybe the days are not they are very near when the digital type of Satbara will be coming. What is the Satbara? Satbara is nothing but it is that document in which the original owner. So example of Satbara is nothing but it is a blockchain. So, but that is a paper-based blockchain. So If you take your Sadbara, suppose you purchase a property from one particular builder and you want to construct a house, but that property belongs to somebody. Suppose that property was constructed in the 19th century, say on 1921, 100 years back. Might be in those 100 years that original party has sold off to next party, then next to third, third to fourth. But in Satbara, at the government records, you will found the name of the original owner who have purchased in 1921. Then when he has sold in 1948 to second party, 1971 third party. Like that, you are the sixth owner. So now for those type of the government document, blockchain will be of much of use. Then in supply chain, whenever the consumer want to get the one party, whatever the type of the consumer goods are transferred. So then blockchain will enable safe digital transfer of property across the end of each supply chain. Aircraft maintenance, again, blockchain will be useful for that one. Like each component of the complex system, there are thousands of components which are the part of aircraft, and to maintain to maintain the details like which part is manufactured, like aircraft is manufactured by hundreds of companies. It is not like that Boeing aircraft is prepared by Boeing. There are thousands of parts which are prepared by thousands of suppliers. So for those thousands of suppliers, we have to maintain the supplier number, then who is the manufacturer or supplier, what is the production date, what is the batch, and what is the manufacturing machine program. So it was very, very difficult for maintenance and repairing of those aircraft without a blockchain in normal days. But if you start using blockchain, blockchain will hold the complete provenance details of each of the component part. That is, for 1,000 supplier, what is the supplier name, what is his number, this is a production date, batch, and all these things. And then this blockchain will be accessible to the supplier, aircraft owner, maintainers, and government regulators. It is also useful in online gaming also. Then other potential use cases of the blockchain are in the finance. So mostly the blockchain is used for food industry and finance. Mostly the blockchain is used in the finance for transfer of money. Then securities, trade finance, intra-bank settlement, then retail banking, and then for maintaining the public record, like real estate record, vehicle registration, the government India has come up with that Vahan type of the website. So that can be maintained in a blockchain format. Now the last portion, I'm coming to this one Hyperledger project because I have specifically run this PPT from IBM. IBM is a very important player in the blockchain. IBM Linux Foundation, they announced in the 2015 one particular project that is called Hyperledger project. So what is this project? It is an open source project which is supported by the IBM. So these project members understand that open source and collaborative development strategy is required for multiple players in the industry. So IBM has supported this Linux Foundation Hyperledger project. And under that, these are the various companies which are the members of that Hyperledger project, like JP Morgan, Cisco, Accenture, Intel, and so many of that one. So in Hyperledger project, they are working on developing certain blockchain technologies. I'll show you that Hyperledger. So somebody want to go in depth, then please go with the IBM website. Yes, this is a Hyperledger project that is developer.ibm.com. Here you will get the details about this one. Start developing with the open source Hyperledger Fabric and IBM blockchain. So Hyperledger is a Linux Foundation project which is supported by the IBM. So IBM have its own blockchain, IBM blockchain. So this is a platform which is provided. So anybody who want to start using a blockchain, you can just go through the tutorials and podcasts which are given. So everything is given. It started with blockchain. What is the basic things about blockchain? IBM has given in detail. What is a blockchain? Complete introduction to distributed ledger. Everything is given in detail. Hyperledger Fabric is given, building a blockchain network using the IBM blockchain platform. So they have come up with their own blockchain platform. So if you're working for your some of the PhD thesis project, you can use IBM blockchain platform. These are the various on IBM platform they has provided with the different types of libraries. Yeah. So, in short, to summarize, what is a blockchain? A blockchain is a shared replicated ledger technology. It is a shared distributed ledger which can be replicated by the people who are using that one, but nothing can be deleted. So IBM supports open standards, open source, and open governance blockchain. Blockchain can be used by the business network by reducing the cost, improving the efficiency, and increasing the accessibility. So that's all from my side. Any queries?
Sir, there is one question in chat box.
Yeah, we'll go through that. Master nodes. Yeah, master node in blockchain technology. What happened that, as I shown in the demo, there is a one Genesis node. Somewhere it is also called a Genesis node or master node. That is the very first node which is created in the blockchain. And then it is a peer network where this the person who is originator, he create the master node, and then afterward the peer people they can create their peer node.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in blockchain technology, we do not require a trusted third party
Yeah.
because it is believed that malicious behavior is technically difficult.
Yeah.
Just one curiosity: if there is a dispute, then what is the dispute handling mechanism?
Yeah, a good question. But Dr. Desai, what happened that uh, there is no question of dispute. For example, taking a very common example, uh, it is always we say that marriages are decided in the heaven and they are just celebrated on the earth. So when the two party, the bride and groom party, the marriage happens, but whenever any dispute happens, then these two party will claim on each other, and then there is a need of a court to go with that one. So like that, now the blockchain technology, because why been required? Because either of the party may remove the proofs which is created by that one, may delete the proof and all these things, maybe document of marriage or something like that one. But blockchain cannot, nothing can be deleted. Once the blockchain is created, it has to be agreed by all the people. I have given, there is a consensus protocol. I have not gone in depth of that one because it is a basic session. Otherwise, I could have gone and explained how the things work in more detail with the use of hashing and Merkle tree concept. So using that protocol, there is a consensus. So dispute, when there is no consensus, then dispute happens. But now when the two parties are or multiple parties are exchanging the data and assets in a business network, they are doing with the consensus, and none of the party can delete the data. So if suppose any dispute happens from my side, I can, and suppose you are originator or master node, I can always see the first thing which is created and added in the blockchain. So every party has access to the data which is created and added, and none of the party can delete. So there is no chance of dispute in case of blockchain, and therefore there is no part of no need of a trusted party like bank or third party required for that one. Popular platforms for developing blockchain application. That's most popular is this IBM, ma'am. IBM Hyperledger project. That is the most popular platform for developing the blockchain because it is an open source platform. There are certain commercial platforms, even this uh, other companies are providing, but they are costly. So as an academician, if you want to start, we should start with the IBM Hyperledger project. Any more questions?
We know the identity of security.
What?
Identity in
Identity
security.
of?
Security. Blockchain.
Pardon, I
Blockchain.
don't get identity of security means?
Its own or others. How to identify the ownership?
Ownership. Yeah, as I shown you the demo, na, the very first block, the name of that person is added in a blockchain. The one, any person who is adding in the blockchain, the name is added with that one. So that proves your identity. And for that one, there are certain like there is identity management concept in cryptography. So using certain type of the algorithms during implementation of blockchain, you can add your identity. For example, like suppose your username and password sort of things, certain features can be added when you update the blockchain. So suppose you create a blockchain and you send it to me. So your identity is already added in that one. When I receive, I know that it is coming from you.
Okay, sir. I think all the queries are solved. And
Yeah.
intermittently also they asked many questions and discussed. So on behalf of all the participants, I extend my thanks to you, sir, for both the day's sessions, yesterday's session on cloud computing and today's
Yeah.
on blockchain. So thank you so much, sir, for engaging
Can
such
we
a
take
wonderful
a
sessions.
photograph?
Yes, sure, sir. Participants, kindly on your video, please. Sir, stop sharing कर दीजिए.
हाँ, yeah, just a minute.
स्माइल करिए सब लोग. Okay, thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Before
Thank you so
closing,
much.
ma'am, I want to say something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
So yeah, so personally, I am thankful to the complete team of HRDC Nagpur. Special thanks to Dr. Chandrasekhar Dethe, the director of HRDC, sir. I know the sir personally from many years, and I'm thankful to Dethe, sir, for giving me the opportunity for giving this session on cloud computing and blockchain. Special thanks to Dharmik ma'am for organizing and keeping regular connect with me and providing all the things which are required. And thanks to all the patient listeners and the participants who have listened to these two topics. I hope you have got something. Nobody is a perfect person, and I am also learner, so I got many things from your questions. So anyhow, yesterday I have given my mail ID. So if you want to connect with me anytime, you can connect with me. I will be happy to connect with you. And so now in all these type of sunrise technologies, like either it is AI, ML, or blockchain, or cloud computing, augmented and virtual reality, I'm interested in that. And maybe it is an exchange of ideas. If any one of you are working on that one, please share so that we can exchange the idea and it can be mutual beneficial to each one of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Thank you very much.
participants are asking about PPTs. Can you share with?
Yeah, I will share with you.
Yes,
I
sir.
will share both the PPTs with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
ओके फ्रेंड्स, अभी आप लोग 10 मिनट का ब्रेक ले लीजिए क्योंकि नेक्स्ट रिसोर्स पर्सन ने ज्वाइन किया है. बट यू टेक ब्रेक ऑफ 10 मिनट्स एंड प्लीज स्टे कनेक्टेड, डोंट लीव द मीटिंग. 10 मिनट का ब्रेक लीजिए, देन वी विल स्टार्ट विथ अवर नेक्स्ट सेशन.
Thank you, ma'am.
थैंक यू.